So I want to welcome everyone to this free mini class and live coaching session. Today we are doing the relationship reboot, 3 ways to do love differently. So, I want you to be a part of this. This is interactive. I want you to use the chat. If something's resonating with you, feel free to let me know. You can ask questions as we go. I want you to connect. That's really the point of these sessions. One is for us to actually get some time together, and for you to get to know me a little better, and for me to get to know you a little better, and for all of you to get to know each other a little better. I love when I witness the resonance and connection that can happen during these sessions, and it makes us feel like we are not alone. And as I always say, we find ourselves in each other's stories, so we can resonate with one another when we share. And when we share our truth, it actually gives others permission to do the same. So I'll give you a little bit of the lay of the land of what we are going to do during our hour together here. I'm going to share about what we're here for, the 3 ways to do love differently, and how you could have a relationship reboot. I'm going to guide you through a self-discovery exercise. So I encourage you to really get clear and express your truth in service of connection and resonance with each other. And you'll have the opportunity to ask questions, as I mentioned, and you're going to leave with an action plan. You're going to leave with a specific, doable, realistic action that you can take to begin making changes in your life right away. So if you are new to me, I am Nancy Levin, best-selling author, master integrative coach, radio host, and my mission is to support you in living life on your own terms. So this is all about permission to put yourself first, permission to make yourself a priority. And what I would say from the get-go here is, as counterintuitive as it seems, when we make ourselves a priority, it actually serves our relationships the best. So we think that a relationship is only going to work if we acquiesce. It's only going to work if we give in, if we don't rock the boat, if we stay small, if we stay silent. But I'm here to tell you that making yourself a priority and putting your needs first is actually what makes everything else possible. It's what makes a healthy relationship possible. So we're going to be sort of busting some myths here, and we're going to be breaking it down and looking around at what you've been doing up till now in your relationships, because there are patterns at play. And I'm sure that you can begin to see that over time, everything will root back to that sort of origin story with mom and dad, or with your core family unit, whoever raised you or wherever you were raised, what you saw happening around you. Those imprints that we get at a really early age are what end up driving the bus of our lives as we go out into the world. So we're going to be exploring a few different concepts today about how you can do love different. You don't have to do it the way that you learned it, and you don't have to do it the way that you've been doing it up till now. So this is a choice point. This is a moment in time where you can actually consciously choose to do something else, to do something other than what you've been doing up till now. It's like that, the definition of insanity, doing the same thing over and over again, but expecting a different result. You have the power. You have the power to change your outcome. You have the power to dissolve your patterns. I always love talking about dissolving our patterns because it reminds me of my dear Louise Hay. And she would always say, people talk about breaking patterns, but when we break a pattern, it lands in shards and there are a million pieces. But when we dissolve a pattern, it disappears. And when a pattern dissolves and disappears, it makes room for something new to come. So if you're someone who's sort of stuck in that place of, I'm going to stay where I am because it's comfortable, or I'm going to stay where I am because I'm afraid of the unknown. I don't know if what's out there is better than what I have here. What I really want you to know is that in the unknown, possibility is born. So we want to know. It's natural. We want to guarantee, especially if we're in that space of jumping out of. We're always either jumping out of or jumping toward. We're moving away from or moving toward. And so when we're moving away from something, we want to know that what we're moving to is better for us. And sometimes it's really important to know that the action, taking an action, is what's going to mobilize possibility, and that we can always course correct as we go along. We can always course correct. So I want you to remember that as we are here together, that I'm all about action, but I'm about bite-sized, doable, realistic action that you can take to begin moving you forward. Because when we set too big or too lofty of a goal or an action step, we all know what that's like. We're motivated and inspired for a short period of time, ultimately, and then we take an action, and then if something goes wonky, we're like, screw it. So the small, bite-sized, realistic, doable action steps are what actually keep us on track. And as we're sharing here and as we're exploring all of this today, I want you to be remembering, I want you to be thinking about, what's it going to take for me to do something different in my life? What's it actually going to take for me to have it stick? Because that's part of what we're working with. Coaching is all about your commitment to your own evolution, and my commitment to hold you accountable to the commitment that you make to yourself. And, as we're in this space of, like I was saying before, moving away from and moving toward, we have to remember to honor the space we're in. So always honoring that space between no longer and not yet. And remembering that we are in active, engaged motion. That's what's going to make change happen in our lives. So, as we're looking at doing love differently, it has me start thinking about why I wrote my book, The New Relationship Blueprint, in the first place, and why I created the New Relationship Blueprint coaching program. Because I had left a marriage. I was in this space of, I'm never doing this again. I'm never going to forget getting married, but I don't even want a relationship. I just want to do me. I just want to be me. I just want to be in my own space. And lo and behold, a relationship appeared that I decided to be in. And what I noticed from the get-go was that I was making a conscious choice in this new relationship not to do it the way I had done relationship before. So looking at how to be in relationship after the one that fell apart, or after the one that broke your heart, or if you're one of the lucky ones and you're young and you're fresh and you're just entering into relationships for the first time, this is a gorgeous opportunity for you to do it from a conscious place, as opposed to a place where you think being in relationship means something that it doesn't. And that's something that I want to begin exploring here around, what do you think it means to be in relationship? What's the story you're telling yourself about relationship? And what's the truth? Because we make up a lot of stories, like, in order to be in relationship, I have to be quiet. In order to be in relationship, I have to do what he or she says. In order to be in relationship, anything like that. So I'm wondering if anyone wants to pop anything in the chat, feel free, about any of the stories you're telling yourself, the ways that you scare yourself about relationship. But Kelly, I see that you say that you believe that you'll be supported and feel loved and it's a safe place. Okay. And then, but there's the belief under here that relationships will be work. Okay, yeah. So what's the story you're telling yourself about relationship? What's the way you scare yourself? Or what's the way that you keep yourself stuck? Feel free to pop anything into the chat if you'd like, because we want to be able to start separating the fact from the fiction. We want to start separating the story that we tell ourselves from the truth. Right, Leilani, hey there. I'm glad you got on. The story you tell yourself is that it will not last, and I have to hide my wild side and not be too witchy-woo. Great, yes. These are the stories we tell ourselves. These are the stories we tell ourselves. Teresa, that I won't keep my identity. Right, the story I tell myself about relationship is I won't be able to keep my identity. Yeah. And so what I find with most of my clients, Leilani, that he will hurt me and hurt my heart. What I find with most of my clients is that there's this fundamental belief of, in order to be in relationship, I must give away myself. I must lose myself. Let's see, Shweta, I will be the one giving more as always and won't get as much in return. And Kelly, that we need to have similar interests and to be best friends. Okay, yeah. So you can start to see that we start to tell ourselves these stories along the way, and it might be what has us get stuck. Aradhana, that's a beautiful name. I can't do spiritual things that are important to me. Okay. So these are the ways in which we hold ourselves back because we're telling ourselves a story about something that we need to do or something that they're going to do. So the bottom line is we can't control what anyone else does or does not do. We only have control over ourselves and the way that we respond or react and what we choose. And so part of it is knowing that we can actually be in love without losing ourselves. So even as I say that, just notice what happens for you. If I actually tell you that you can be in love without losing yourself, does that seem like a crazy thought? Does that seem far-fetched? Does that seem impossible? Does that seem like really far out there to you? And notice that it begins with falling deeply in love with yourself first, so that you're anchored here. That's how you don't lose yourself in love. So by knowing your non-negotiables, by knowing your priorities, by creating for yourself rituals and routines even that anchor you in self-connection. So I'm wondering if right now, you in your life have any kind of routine, ritual, practice around self-connection. It might be journaling, it might be meditating, it might be walking, whatever it is for you. It might be taking a bath. Do any of you have practices, rituals, routines that are anchored in self-connection? So Teresa, I see, drawing, yes, yes. And then Kelly, you're saying that you've given that up when you're in relationship. Yes. And so what I'm wanting to support you in is being anchored in you so that when you're in relationship, you carry these non-negotiables in with you. And Marty is saying hiking, being in nature, and Leilani is saying yes, self-care, journaling, meditating, nature, connection, baths, rituals, feet on the earth, barefoot, creating art, cooking, hiking, love it. Aradhana, I'm sure I'm not saying that right. Meditation and yoga. Ornella, hello there, my dear. Self-connections for me have changed at different times in my life. Sometimes it was a walk, sometimes a bath. Right. Teresa, this is cutting in and out. I don't know why. It might be on your end. I'm not sure. Kelly, I love swimming, music, the gym, sporting events. Yes. So, you want to look in Shweta, reading, meditating, walking. Great. It was cutting out for me too. Interesting. I don't know. Nancy, sound is cutting from Rini. I do not know why that is. All right. It's better now. I'm sorry about that. It's okay now though. Okay, Rini, keep me posted. I got Rini here, our community concierge. She's got all of your backs and she's got mine too. I'm not sure. I'm not 100% sure why, but I'm glad it's better now. Okay, good. So I want you to think about, if you're single and you've got these self-connection practices in place, notice what comes up for you about getting into relationship and what you think. What is the story you tell yourself about what has to happen with the things that you currently do for yourself? Let's see. It's out again. I'm frozen. Now it's stopped. Oh boy. Okay, let's see. Good again. I have no idea what's going on today, but I do know that the internet went out yesterday. I can try. Well, let's just keep going. And if I need, I don't know, if I need to go to another room, I'll do that, or I'll try something else. Is it okay right now, or do you want me, Rini? Is it Rini and Pat? I know you're on here too. Do you want me to log out and come back? And I don't even know if I can do that, given that I'm the host. All right, I'm just going to keep going. Oh, Rini's saying maybe yes. Okay, what happens if I make Rini the host? Let me do this just to make, promote to panelist. Oh, I just brought you on and I didn't mean to. Ah! I'm sorry. Hang on, I'm trying to unmute you. Just bear with us, everybody. It's just how it is today. I can't even unmute you, and you can't unmute yourself. All right. Here's what I'm going to do. Oh, I see. Hang on. Okay. Are you unmuted? No. Oh, make host. Okay. I just made you the host, Rini. And I'm going to go and come back.
Perfect.
And we'll see what
happens. We're waiting for you.
What?
We're waiting for you.
I know.
We're here.
Okay.